I was reading through the book of Proverbs the other day, and I came across this verse in Proverbs 22:6 that says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And so I started thinking about all of the things that we learn at a young age that we just kind of carry with us for the rest of our lives. And one of those things is how to handle our money. You see, we're all like sponges when we're young. We soak up everything around us, including how our parents handle their money. So if they're good with money, then oftentimes we get that. If they're bad with money, then we get that as well. But I think we can also look at other people, even people in the Bible. And in today's video, I want to share with you 7 ways that we can handle our money according to the Bible. Because you see, the Bible is full of wisdom that applies directly to money, life, relationships, work, and decision-making. It is what I would call a wisdom book. And while it's not a how-to manual in the modern sense, it does give some timeless principles that we can apply in very practical ways to our lives today. So let's dive right into it. Number 1, diligence versus laziness. In Proverbs 21:5, it says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Now, I know there's a lot of talk about financial abundance online, and most of it is garbage, but I think the principle here is pretty straightforward. If you want your finances to thrive, then you have to be diligent. You need to put in the work. You need to make smart decisions. And you need to trust that the process will play out over time. Because sometimes you can be doing all the right things, and it still might not seem like much is happening, right? Like you feel like you're treading water. But then when you look back years later, you realize how far you've actually come. Number 2, saving and planning. In Proverbs 6:6-8, it talks about the ant. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." Now, the Bible doesn't exactly have a lot of great things to say about ants. But let's take some lessons from them. Pay attention on how they work. They store up food in advance. They don't just wait until they're hungry to go find something to eat. They prepare ahead of time. And so I think this is a lesson for us that we should think ahead not just for ourselves, but for our families to build up a savings to set aside money for emergencies, retirement, college funds, whatever it may be. By not saving up, by not planning, we're basically saying that we're too lazy to figure it out. We don't care. And I think that's really irresponsible, especially if you're a parent. You have to think about more than just yourself. Number 3, debt. In Proverbs 22:7, it says, "The borrower is a slave to the lender." This is a strong statement, but I think it makes a good point. Like debt can be a useful tool. When used responsibly, you can leverage debt to buy a house, to fund a business, to invest in stocks, but that requires discipline and self-control. Most people can't handle it. Instead, they buy things on credit cards that they can't afford. And then before they know it, they're in way over their heads, and they can't get out from behind the payments. And so, if you ever find yourself in this situation, you should know that it's not hopeless. There's always a way out. But it's going to take some time and effort. You have to cut back on expenses, pick up some extra work, make a plan, and stick to it. Number 4, generosity. In Proverbs 19:17, it says, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord." Now, the Bible teaches us that we should help those who are less fortunate. We shouldn't just ignore them or pretend that they're not there. We should be compassionate and give what we can, both practically and emotionally. But I think there's an important distinction here between giving out of obligation and giving out of joy. Like, don't give because you feel like you have to. Give because you want to. See, the Bible teaches us that God loves a cheerful giver. That's someone who gives not because they have to, but because they want to. So if you're able to help someone out, if you see someone in need, don't just walk on by. Stop and see how you can help. And if you can't help them financially, then give what you can, whether that's food or clothing or your time, or maybe just a listening ear. Number 5, wisdom over foolishness. In Proverbs 1-7, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools show themselves foolish." Now, the fear of the Lord is not the same as being afraid of God. It's not like you're cowering in a corner, somewhere trembling in fear. Instead, it means that you respect and honor God. You acknowledge that He's in control, and you recognize that you're accountable to Him. So when you start your life this way, when you start your life with God first, then everything else falls into place. The Bible tells us that wisdom is the most important thing that we can seek. So if you want to live a good life, then seek wisdom. Ask God for it. Pray about it. And read His Word. Number 6, speech. In Proverbs 18:21, it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." So our words can either speak life or death into people's lives. Our words can be a blessing or a curse. And I think it's important that we remember that, especially in a day and age where we could offend anyone at any moment simply by saying the wrong thing. So choose your words wisely. Think about what you say before you say it. Don't speak out of anger or hurt. And above all, don't use your words to tear others down. Number 7, friendships. In Proverbs 13:20, it says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." So the friends that you choose to surround yourself with really matters. Your friends will either inspire you or distract you, encourage you or discourage you. And so don't take this verse to mean that you should look down on your friends or think that they are stupid. Instead, it's a reminder that we should try to find friends who are a little bit better than us. People who challenge us to be better, not worse. People who make us laugh but also make us think, who are supportive but also honest with us, who are successful but also humble enough to admit when they don't know something. Look, friendship is a two-way street. So be the kind of friend that you want to have, someone who's there to help and support and encourage others. So those are 7 ways that we can handle our money and our life according to the Bible. I know these are just surface-level reminders, but I hope they were helpful nonetheless. I would love to hear from you. What are some other verses that you find helpful when it comes to handling your money and your life? Let me know down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, God bless.